one of the things that you're going to experience as a property manager or even as a landlord, if you're having to do this yourself, is you're going to run into issues where you have to put in a new faucet. The joys of having to do it. You could save money by doing it yourself. You can hire a plumber. I typically, as a property manager, like to use handymen because they do just as good as a job. You don't need to be licensed. And if you find somebody that's really good, if they're licensed and insured, great. You don't need a plumber, even though a plumber, if you use that, that's fine as well. So what you want to do, you have this faucet here. You're going to want to take off these little caps because I was putting one in on that side and I couldn't screw the caps on because it had these little plastic caps that were covering the threads. But so the first thing you're going to want to do is you have your gasket and you have this faucet, this nice fancy Delta faucet. What I'm going to do is I advise putting in silicone caulking right underneath here. It's not necessarily required. This is a very flat sink, but this does prevent any kind of moisture intrusion to come in if you're washing and using the hand sink. It prevents that, and it's just a nice little tip to do. So that's what I'm going to be doing first, and I have here this silicone 100% waterproof. You can buy this at Lowe's, Home Depot, any home improvement store. I'm going to go around the edges just like so. I don't want to put it too far to the edge of the faucet because then it's going to really bleed over when you push it down onto your countertop. But this will create a nice barrier to prevent any kind of water from coming, seeping through and coming underneath your sink. Okay, next we're going to take this and we're going to put it flat onto the surface of the sink. Line up your holes, stick that right down in there, nice and flat. Try not to move it once you've found the spot you want. And then I'm going to go underneath and I'm going to screw it in down at the bottom underneath here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this in. If it's one person, like just me here, I'll hold the top up here to prevent this from moving around. I'll reach down underneath to where those threads are, and I'm going to start screwing in while I hold the top to prevent this from moving. Again, I have that silicone in there, and I don't want it to get all over this nice sink countertop. So now that's in. Now you want to go ahead and tighten both sides. I didn't tighten one side and then the other because I wanted to just get it a little bit snug first to get it into position. Now I'm tightening them both up, same time. A nice snug tight, that's not gonna move. And you'll notice here, there's some silicone that goes around the edges. Now that's when you just take a little hand towel and wipe this all up. You're gonna wipe this up. On that, it's just a little bit. This will dry within 30 minutes or less, depending on the quality of the silicone you bought. This is really good silicone. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put this ring into the sink. You'll notice right here your sink. And the sink has a big gap, a big hole. It's a brand new sink. You're putting in a brand new faucet. So typically nothing would be here, and you're gonna put everything together. You wanna take some silicone glue and you wanna put it around the edge of this and then put that down in the hole of your sink. The reason why is because you do not want water. You wanna stop all the water that you can from when it drains, because you don't want it to drain around this ring and then go into your cabinet and then you have water damage under your cabinet down there. So that's what you do. And you would take this connection, which is part that goes into your sewer pipe. You put that underneath the sink. I'm gonna screw this on top, and this is all gonna come together. One of the things I'm gonna do down there is I'm going to take this and I'm gonna be screwing it up. It's gonna tighten this ring with this porcelain sink and this plastic drainage pipe together into one. It's gonna become one unit. You will not have any leaks whatsoever. Here we go. Put that in. Just like that. You can try screwing it a little bit just to get it started, but all you got to do is really get that underneath there. Start screwing it down. It's going to go in just nicely. Now that I've screwed that enough, it's not letting me screw anymore. I'm going to take that plastic with that rubber I showed you earlier, and I'm going to start squeezing that in. Turning that in to tighten it up. If you look, that's what I just screwed in right here. This is that rubber plunger. I've screwed in this plastic head right in. It's closed the gap between this and that porcelain sink, and that is watertight now. Now all I'm going to do is just wipe off this silicone around this sink so it doesn't stick and dry onto this nice porcelain sink. And that's how that works. Now I'm going to take this is going to go into the sink. I'm going to put this down into the sink, and I'm going to take this plunger piece that pushes this up and down, that makes the water go up and down, right, to close it. And it's going to connect right into here like so. So this is going to go inside just like this, straight down in. That's how we want it. I'm going to take this, connect it underneath into that plastic hole, and that what plunges it up and down. So now this is going to go in the hole. I want to line it in to make sure that I have that plunger going up and down. If you'll notice up here, now it's going up and down. Perfect. All right. So we're going to screw the cap in like that. Goes in the hole. And screw that in. Now, that is a nice looking setup. If it's too hard, it's kind of hard to push it up and down right now. Just lighten that screw a little bit right here, that cap screw, and it makes it a lot easier. Next, we're going to take the plunger. This is what you use to lift up, obviously to either hold water in your sink or drain. We're going to put that into this hole right here. Make sure you line it up just right. There's a ridge. This ridge will go right into that ridge, and that tells you how this should be positioned. And it goes straight down. You'll notice it's not working yet because I have to connect the whole mechanism together, which is those long metal pipes or rods have to connect into this, which I'll show you. Clip it on with a clip, and you have a complete working mechanism. Okay, we're going to connect this all together. Hopefully it'll be easy, even though it's not really that easy. So this is going to go in to the plunger above that pushes the sink up and down, the lock. This I'm going to stick, you'll notice that's in, so that's sliding in. This is going to go into here. It's for your plunger. Perfect. Oh, I forgot one last step. This clip goes in first on one side, then you put it in. I'm putting in the second notch because that sounds about right in terms of its where it needs to be, and that connects in. There, that's locked into place. This is locked into place. Plunger's all the way down. And now I'm going to take this nut and I'm going to screw it in. Now this is all connected into one. It's all stable. And you'll notice when this goes up, that's when you pulled up that lever at the top, and it has actually allowed the water to come out. I'm sorry, allowed the water to actually hold into the sink. So that's how that works. Down, up, it's all connected.